to talk about the FNS-9C. Now, the FNS-C 9mm is a gun that when I first held it, I think it was a couple years ago at, I think it was actually a POMA conference, I first got my hands on this gun, and I really liked the feel of it. I liked the configuration of it. I've actually been kind of surprised that I haven't seen more of these in the concealed carry permit circles, in the training circles, or in classes. It is a subcompact size grip with what I would consider a medium length slide and barrel. And I love this configuration. I think this configuration is great for concealed carry because obviously it's the grip that is going to print if you're inside the waistband, not the barrel and slide. Yet having a longer barrel and slide means a couple of things. Longer sight radius and more power behind the gun are the most common things people talk about, but you also have more weight out in front of the hand to help manage recoil, and that is an issue when you start talking about a subcompact gun. Now, for a subcompact gun, you're going to get 12 plus 1, it's 13 rounds of ammunition, 9mm, with the standard magazine. You obviously have the other options of the extended magazine here, which gives you a place to put your hand. Unless you have a very large hand, you're going to get that pinky finger a good purchase there, which is obviously going to help manage recoil, and a lot of people like that in terms of control. Or you can go for the full-size and FNS magazine, which is going to give you 17 plus 1, 18 rounds capacity, now again with the short barrel. Now, everybody that follows my work probably knows that I'm not a big fan of these sleeves. The sleeves prevent over-insertion, but they also can cause issues with the magazine dropping free. But one of the things you'll see that FN has done here is they did not completely follow the same contour of the grip angle with this backstrap, the larger backstrap on the FNSC, with the bottom of this sleeve. So what you end up with is a higher degree of likelihood that this sleeve is going to drop free and not impinge on the hand if you're going to be reloading. Now, the fact is, most people aren't going to carry with this magazine inserted. They're going to carry with the smaller magazine when they're using the gun concealed carry and have this probably as their second magazine. And then the other problem with the sleeves potentially is that when you insert, you're going to get an impingement with the hand where you pinch part of the hand with this sleeve. So if it's me, I'm going to use the full-size magazine without the sleeve and be able to make sure that I get a positive insertion, and then obviously that I'm going to get a positive drop on that magazine as well. Getting back to the FNS-9C, I like this configuration a lot. Like I said, the way this gun fits in the hand is really nice for a 9mm, but it also is going to carry very well. Now, with the controls, with all the FN guns lately, you're going to get the ambidextrous control. So you got ambidextrous slide, stop, slide release. I like the way they contour these for a good positive actuation in terms of locking the gun open. There's a good shelf there that you can push up on. And if you're going to use this as a slide release, there's also a good positive flat there for you to push forward. I prefer an overhand rack. And what that means is I'm looking for good serrations on the rear of the slide, and the FNS-9C has that as well. The magazine release is also ambidextrous, and it's contoured well to not get in the way. So when you get that magazine inserted, get around in the chamber, you're not likely to reach around and push this magazine release accidentally and drop a mag out when you don't want to on either side. It's scalloped at the bottom. It's got a really nice feel to it. There is a loaded chamber indicator on the extractor. It's a good positive one. You know, some of them are very subtle. It's a stretch to suggest that you're really going to notice it. This one has a good positive, you know, red marking there. It's also a tactile indicator as well. If you reach up and feel that, it feels very different when that's extending and there is a round in the chamber. I'm going to put the gun down, put my eye protection on, do a little shooting. I haven't got to shoot this gun a lot. Now, one of the things I'll tell you that it's got dovetail front and rear, so you can replace the sights. I'm not a big fan of ramped rear sights. There's a little bit of a flat edge for emergency manipulation, but this has a pretty severe ramp. I'd prefer a flatter style rear sight, and obviously would probably replace these with aftermarket sights anyway. Well, there you have it. A good burst at relatively close range. This is that 12 to 15 foot range most people are going to defend themselves at. This is the highest level of likelihood. All the shots into the high center chest, that's what we're looking for. As far as sighted fire, we're in the head, that's where we want to be. And we want to make sure that we get those shots when we need them at a higher level of precision using the sights, obviously. And these are decent sights. You know, again, they're factory sights. They're not plastic. That's nice. They're good, bright, white dots. Now, again, I prefer a plain rear, but if you like dots, these are going to line up well. The front dot is bigger, so you're going to get a good, crisp focus on that. But really, as far as notch and blade goes, this notch is completely filled by this blade. And that means that, you know, for precision shots, you're going to have a better sight picture. I like a little bit more open sights than the FNS-9C has. But as far as going out to a more extended distance, we can use the sights and get those hits in the box, no problem. Obviously, the recoil on this gun really isn't as pronounced as you might expect from a subcompact gun. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the gun really does fill your hand. Obviously, it's a double stack gun. Now, the FN definitely fills the hand. Smaller handed people, even with this subcompact, may have a harder time reaching the trigger and feeling comfortable with this gun. But as far as large handed people, when you talk about holding a subcompact gun, this one's going to fill your hand really well. One of the reasons, like I mentioned earlier, that the recoil isn't as pronounced as you might think as a subcompact gun is going to be is because this has a traditional size slide and barrel. So the barrel length and the slide length here for me are more about recoil management than anything else, and that's what's going to allow you to fire those rapid bursts, those defensive close quarters defensive bursts that we're going to be looking for to stop the threat. I'm a big fan of the FNS-9C. I think it should be a gun that more people consider when it comes to concealed carry. The reliability of the FN guns is proven. Obviously, they're incredibly durable, they're accurate, they're going to work for you when you need them, just like any of the other modern striker fired guns. This one's a high quality one. You should consider it for personal defense use.